Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talking Through the Medias, your home for entertainment news and reviews by fans for fans. Make sure if you like what you see, give us a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You can also support us on Patreon. We have YouTube members that you can also join. And we super appreciate all that support. If you have anything you want to say, drop it below. Any questions, comments, concerns, we want to hear them. We discuss them every week on We Got Your Mail. I'm Amy Newman. Joining me today, we have the wonderful Eric Dains. Thanks for being here, Eric.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hello, everyone.
And we also have Chris joining us from Texas in a little bit, but he's not here right now. So if we have things to say, now's the time to get it out. So we got some trending topics this week. We are going to kick things off with a little Why Is That Trending? First off, Elliot Page, formerly known as Ellen Page, star of The Umbrella Academy and Juno, has come out as transgender non-binary. The actor wrote on social media, "Hi friends, I want to share with you that I am trans, my pronouns are he, they, and my name is Elliot. I feel lucky to be writing this, to be here, to have arrived at this place in my life. I feel overwhelming gratitude for the incredible people who have supported me along this journey. I can't begin to express how remarkable it feels to finally love who I am enough to pursue my authentic self. I've been endlessly inspired by so many in the trans community." He went on to say, "I love that I am trans, and I love that I am queer, and the more I hold myself close and fully embrace who I am, the more I dream, the more my heart grows, and the more I thrive. To all the trans people who deal with harassment, self-loathing, abuse, and the threat of violence every day, I see you, I love you, and I will do everything I can do to change this world for the better."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great statement, first off.
Yeah, no, he really knocked that one out of the park.
Yeah.
I feel like just coming out, I feel like is already such a sort of brave thing to do, especially when you're so fully in the spotlight and kind of someone people grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was pretty young in Juno, and it's definitely, you know, one of those situations where there's somebody that you kind of feel like you know on some level. So really brave, and I'm just really proud of him and to sort of do it so eloquently and tastefully. And if you go to his social media and read the full post, there's a lot of really nice sort of acknowledgement of sort of how lucky he is to be able to come out and acknowledging the unfortunate, very high rates of violence against trans people. It was a really stellar statement, and I feel good. It's one of those moments where you step back and you're like, oh, I feel good about everybody in my circle because I've seen nothing but like love and good energy and nothing but kind of positivity and respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you're a nerd like me, I mean, you might have known his work first as, you know, Kitty Page and X-Men and everything. And again, Juno, X-Men, Inception, you know his work, you love him. And I feel like it's such a big icon to really kind of bring in this era of, yeah, I still love him.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's wonderful because one of my first thoughts was, beyond, oh, that's great, good for him, but from a sort of a Hollywood industry perspective, I feel like so often Hollywood has sort of gotten away with going, well, yeah, there are trans actors out there, but this is a big budget movie, so we need a trans name, which we don't have, so we're just going to cast Scarlett Johansson and call it a day. And like, y'all don't have an excuse anymore if you need a trans man who matches, you know, Elliot Page's sort of specifications. Not that he's going to be the only trans actor or non-binary actor you could ever use, but
the excuses are running thin.
Yes.
Well, and that aside, his work is just interesting. Every time I see him on screen, I like what he's doing, and I want to see more of it. So I don't think, personally for me, and hopefully for a lot of you, I'm not going to be dissuaded to see more of that work in light of this message.
Yeah. No, and I think the other thing that makes his coming out really important and valuable, beyond his own personal journey, On, again, looking at a bigger picture level, I think one of the biggest things is this is huge for giving people who might not know a trans person, or at least an out trans person in their day-to-day life. I think it's so important to have that jumping off point of, you know, when someone when someone in your life comes out as trans, that not being a totally novel concept to you. You know, it seems sort of silly in a way, but like to have that, oh, like Elliot Page. I mean, even that's why representation in media is so important. You know, knowing like, oh, I can absolutely talk to my parents who are very open-minded people, but it's like they can have they're on it with trans culture and rights and understanding that. And part of that is they've seen Transparent. They watched Orange is the New Black. You know, they watch documentaries that sit down. What was that called? There was that documentary that came out a while back with trans actresses talking with them about their experience. And it's part of why representation is so important. And I feel like now it's like, okay, now pretty much the whole world knows and likes a trans person. And that does help if someone in your life comes out as trans, making that feel a little less foreign, I guess, a little less like a completely, well, I have no concept of this. So again, running out of excuses of, you know, this, you do know someone now and you've probably enjoyed their work very much in the past. I know a lot of people were discussing what this does mean for his career. I hope he does just continue on and continue to do really interesting work. We did ask, because one of the big questions that I saw coming up, because he is still currently cast on Umbrella Academy. So we asked the community, with news of Elliot Page's announcement of being transgendered, does it matter that he will continue playing Vanya in the Umbrella Academy? 53% said no, 47% said yes. I believe we posted that a day or two ago when he came out. Umbrella Academy's come out and said he's keeping his role. Like, it does not seem that hard. And again, that's another thing of like, the actor comes out as trans, why can't the character? Like, you can write around it, you know, you can write, not around it even, you can write to it and use it.
Well, and I mean, for just the sake of the story, Umbrella Academy is a more inclusive, less bleak, less gritty version of The Boys, in my opinion, and kind of does have the space to tell this type of story. And especially if we're talking about the actor and the character's iconography, this is exactly that show to do this and to kind of usher in the era of Elliot Page. And I'm very excited to see where he goes. I'm very positive his career is not done because, again, very interesting, very artistic, and very much
good actor.
Yeah, one person I want to watch for the rest of my life.
Well, Elliot, because I know you're probably watching, fan of the show. Congratulations, that's awesome. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
From Vanity Fair. Vanity Fair released interviews with Rosario Dawson and Dave Filoni discussing the Ahsoka Tano character making her live-action debut on The Mandalorian. Rosario, who played the white lightsaber-wielding former Jedi, had this to say when asked about how it all came to be. Actually, it all came from the fans online. Someone tweeted me and fan cast me, and apparently that got the attention of someone who does the press for Star Wars years ago. Filoni confirmed this, that it was the fan casting that first got his attention, and that the name Grogu for Baby Yoda has been in mind for a while now. But they had to keep it under wraps until Ahsoka debuted on the Jedi episode. He also confirmed that he had to stop himself from doing something ridiculous, like have Ahsoka say, "Is that a Baby Yoda or Baby Master Yoda behind you?" Confessing it almost demanded to be said. So, what do I think about the whole Ahsoka Tano and Rosario Dawson playing her on The Mandalorian? Now, when I knew the episode was coming up, it was obvious, it was called The Jedi, and I heard the news that she was and she was cast to play the role. I am a huge fan of Ahsoka Tano. She is my favorite Jedi. I like the service that it did to Ahsoka fans or Clone War / Rebel fans. The little movements that she would do, like pulling the sabers apart movement kind of a thing. That move always interests me because it's like you got your lightsabers that aren't turned on right now. You put them together like this. And then as you ignite them, you pull them apart. Wouldn't there be a big spark happening in the middle, like a sizzling, like sparks flying in your eyes kind of a thing? I mean, she must have practiced how to do this perfectly. Or maybe she's only igniting one at the same, or maybe they're not even touching. Maybe maybe her hands are really like apart like this. And I don't know. And as she's doing, I don't know. But either way it goes, it's the animated. It's animated very cool. So she pulled off the movements and everything that you read about and have seen in animation as for the adult version of Ahsoka very well. I mean, it was utilized very well. It didn't focus on her. It kept her as a mysterious character. I'm reading a lot about people who don't know anything about Ahsoka, who did not watch Clone Wars or any of that stuff, who are learning about her for the first time, probably for the first time now. I'm pretty sure because people who aren't really Star Wars fans but love The Mandalorian for whatever reason, or it speaks to them, are now becoming expanded, for lack of a better word, expanded universe kind of fans. They're probably now watching the movies, looking up Ahsoka in other medium, like the cartoons and stuff, and probably have begun watching Rebels. Well, I read about now that she's officially played a Star Wars character, Ahsoka Tano. The movie that she did with Hayden Christensen a while back, now everybody's linking together the whole Anakin Ahsoka link now. So that would be that's kind of just fun trivia stuff. But the other news that came from this, as I mentioned before, so the name Grogu, I don't have a problem with it. The fact that they had that name in mind for a while, and however long that means, was it a year since they know the name last season, probably, and kept it under wraps. I mean, but who would believe it anyway? If that rumor would have dropped, nobody would have gone, but Grogu. If they wanted to test it, they probably should have dropped a rumor that was the name that was coming up, or leaked it and see how it would have came off. I think the way they revealed it made sense. It just begged a lot more questions. If Ahsoka Tano was able to use the Force and probably go through Grogu's memories and hear his name being said to him and figure out his name and reveal that he was in the Jedi Academy, that just brings the question out: who got him out when Order 66 came out, and if he would have been a target for death, who saved him from the clone troopers when Darth Vader came out to kill everybody? Was he in that classroom with all the other younglings that Hayden Christensen slaughtered? Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we gonna do? And Grogu's like hiding under the chair cushion, like, nah, son. No, I don't trust that. I believe that's a possibility. That whole thing about the mention of a Baby Yoda, saying the word Baby Yoda, I would have gotten a kick out of it. Is that a little Baby Yoda behind you right there? Like, who the hell is Yoda? Is what the Mandalorian would have said. But the way they did it, I mean, the way they did it was better, was fine. She subtly said, "The only thing I know about his species is Master Yoda. I've only seen one other person that looked like that. That was Master Yoda." So overall, it just to me feels like a case study for a possible Ahsoka Tano TV show. But besides that, what I did on the community tab was I posted a question about Ahsoka Tano playing the character. Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka Tano. And on the community, so I said after watching The Mandalorian, The Jedi, season 2, episode 5, Ahsoka tells the Mandalorian to take Grogu, Baby Yoda, to Tython, planet Tython, to have a Force user reach out to him. If this happens, who would you like to answer the call? Who would you like that Jedi or Force users to come out to reveal themselves to be a possible teacher to Baby Yoda, aka Grogu? And you guys have said 33% of you out there in our community, out of 205 votes as when I'm reading this, Luke Skywalker. 22% said a new unknown Jedi. 18% said Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ezra Bridger from Star Wars Rebels. And only 10% of you said Kestis Cal from the Fallen Order Jedi Fallen Order video game. And that to me would be one of the most interesting ones, because it would be the first time we would get from a video game adaptation brought in to live action. So if you've already got a couple people from the cartoon version and made a live action version of them, now do the same for a video game. Cal and Ezra Bridger to me would be the two that would make the most sense. Ezra Bridger more. What would really make sense would be Luke Skywalker, but I doubt they're going to go that route because one, Mark Hamill's too old to be de-aged that much. And Sebastian Stan, aka the Winter Soldier, would be the one thing that would make the most sense to become the new star. Look, you've already made a new Han Solo. You've already got a new person playing Han Solo. You might as well just go for it. But do you introduce a new Luke Skywalker on a TV show, or do you do that in a film? I say you would do that in a film, but if you already have a legit movie star like a Sebastian Stan, who's already been proving himself in the Marvel and all under the Disney umbrella universes and stuff, and that would be a name I think the fans can get behind because he looks exactly like Mark Hamill. I'm sorry, he does. So that's a name that I think they can get behind because he's already. That's a name that you can get behind for the TV level and accept it in a movie level as well, because it's happening right now with Marvel. So that's where you guys sat on that as far as the that vote behind that question. That's who you guys want to see. And there was a few mentions in the comment section. Parks 27 MHS says he wants Mace Windu, and I told him, I said, man, I would freak out if Mace Windu survived that episode 3 and Samuel L. Jackson came out. Give him to me. Give him to me. I'll teach him. I know what to do with him. And try to get that payback on probably, like, if Mace Windu was alive, would he want payback against Luke Skywalker after what his dad did to? Ooh, that's the question. That's the question. I would imagine that Mace Windu would have fallen to the dark side and try to come after Luke Skywalker. That would be an interesting fight. Tom Veloso says, I forget the face in the comic books, and I looked them up for you, but I hope it is Quinlan Voss. And I looked him up. I think he's got a guy that has a line over his face. I looked him up. Now, if he's still alive, I guess if it makes sense, if he's still alive, and if it's canon, if it's not from the expanded universe stuff, then yeah, put him in there. And Brandon Miller was being mean on the. He said anybody who voted for Obi-Wan Kenobi is kind of a moron. Why? I mean, I know there's no real connection and everything, but there's nothing saying that a Force Ghost won't come through. Why not? Why not? Maybe maybe there's a Obi-Wan connection. Maybe Obi-Wan met Grogu before. If there's a connection, why not? It would make a little sense to me. But that's what you guys thought about it. So, I mean, what else do you guys think about this whole thing with Rosario Dawson debuting as Ahsoka Tano? Did you freak out the way I did? I must have shouted like 3 or 4 times while I was watching that episode. It was exciting. Do you think this is a stage test? for a possible Ahsoka Tano spinoff show for the future? If so, what do you think about that? Would you be interested in seeing that? I gotta tell you, I enjoyed the cartoons. I enjoyed the book for Ahsoka. I love the character. And if you don't know anything about the character, or didn't know anything about the character, or maybe wasn't a fan of the character, how do you feel about it now that Rosario Dawson's behind it? Is it better? Is it worse? Let me know what you think. Put it in the box below, and we'll talk about it on the next We Got Your Mail. So with that out of the way, I'm going to hand it back over to the other guys and let them take the next topic. And the next topic is...
another story that broke this week. The 2020 word of the year, shocking no one, is pandemic, according to both Merriam-Webster and Dictionary.com. The word choice is obvious, but fitting in a year in which CNN reported that the internet searches for the word pandemic jumped 115,806% on March 11th, as compared to searches on the same day in 2019.
Now, that must have been a lot more than the first time we had a pandemic all the way back in the 1900s, right?
The Google searches for that,
Yes.
I would assume so.
Obviously, you didn't do it on a computer. You went to Mr. Google.
The town answerer. According to Merriam-Webster, other words which define 2020 included defund, malarkey, schadenfreude, quarantine, and Mamba, which surged in searches following the death of the late Kobe Bryant, which was this year, because I just need to be reminded of that every so often, because this year has been both endless and 20 minutes long. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little... I'm not trying to, dunk on Merriam-Webster,
But you are.
It's a little obvious. That's all I'm saying. I think they do base it on what's searched in searches every year. I'm just gonna, what would your word of the year? You can have a minute if you need it. I think mine is just sort of an anguished scream.
just an A-G-H-H-H-H-H-H.
That's the one, sort of a Charlie Brown style og.
Personally, for mine, from commercials to people using it, it's going to be the phrase, both words, unprecedented times. That one got burned out pretty fast for me.
Between the presidency, the election, the pandemic, I could never hear the word unprecedented. I never want to live through anything unprecedented again. I want...
Let all of our times be precedented.
So much precedent. Give me that precedent. I will say, I feel like Dictionary.com, understandably, was a little hipper, a little funkier with some of their down list choices. I believe Karen was in there. Doom scrolling, which I think might unfortunately be my word of the year. I feel like I've done a lot of doom scrolling.
I would like to go to 2019 ourselves and give ourselves the list of these words and say, what do you think is going to happen in 2020? Because personally, I'm going to be all right, so there's a mother named Karen who obviously beat Doom in record time.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna put it in the universe. Maybe 2020's word of the year can be hyphenated puppy kisses. Just everybody has a good time. Crowded bar is the 2021 word of the year. These are all things I'm just trying to speak into existence.
Very much like the Tonys, where you have that one show that you just know is going to sweep everything. Yeah. It kind of makes sense why pandemic is there.
Yeah.
And hopefully it won't be for a very, 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 very long time.
I mean, my God, if there's another pandemic, they can't make it the word of the year again.
Oh, God.
At least, I don't know. You can't. You gotta get creative, Merriam.
Again, Merriam-Webster, we know you're watching. Don't do it.
Big fans of the show. Thank you for tuning in here for all that hot baby Yoda goss that we will be dropping shortly. Don't worry, we got you. Yeah. I like that Schadenfreude is on there.
Which is great, because I really I haven't heard that word since Avenue Q. in high school when I got obsessed with that song personally.
I think it trended after Trump got COVID. Honestly, I think was what they were saying. Malarkey's good. A lot of. What a terrible year.
2020, you're gonna be gone, but we won't miss you.
2020. What do you think the word of the year should be? Go ahead and drop us a comment. If you come up with a good one, we will be discussing it on We Got Your Mail. So make sure you drop all those thoughts, all those feelings, whatever anguished screams you feel like. It was summed up your year. Kobe was this year.
Like, I don't know if we have time for a personal story, but I remember that day
We
happening.
don't. Thank
Cool.
No, go ahead.
No, I was at a restaurant. I was picking up some takeout, and a guy burst in the door and said, "Kobe's dead!" And, you know, it's LA. So I was just like, all right, it's some guy just doing his thing. Opened up Twitter, and holy shit. I look up, and everyone else is on their phone, and everyone's making eye contact, not saying anything. And yeah, that happened this year.
Honestly, I feel like it is, I forget who, some comedian does a really funny bit about how surreal is like a way overused word. I think surreal could be an accurate word for this year. I think
the actual time it's definitively accurate.
Yeah. Because I think for me it was like early March looking up and like in a sports bar and seeing like NFL or NBA canceled and like looking at the waitress just like, we should not be here right now. Surreal, pandemic, Schadenfreude. Let us know what you think. Meanwhile, those are a couple of our trending topics, but we're going to breaking news from Chris over in Texas. We do have some hot baby Yoda goss that he's going to be breaking down for you right now. We're going to go to Chris live. You better be killing it right now, Chris. Oh, you better. After we threw it off to you that good, I think you are. You're texting me right now, so.
Did you say anything about me?
Should I read your text? No. Okay. We'll throw it back. Thank you so much, Chris, for that breaking news. Really some enlightening stuff. Really said some
poignant.
Really, yeah. Did not know he felt that way about that specific group of people, but what you gonna do? Well, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. If you liked what you saw, again, like, subscribe. We do also release this as a podcast for your listening pleasure if you want all the hot breaking news without our ugly mugs to go along with it. I'm Amy Newman. You can find me at amy.n.newman on Instagram and at amy_n_Newman on the Twitters. Eric, where can they find you?
If you want to find me on the Twitters, you can find me at Viva La Dains. That is VIVALADAINS.
Wonderful. And this channel is at T3 Medias on all the things. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We brought Vine back. Follow us there. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. And as always, T3 Medias is filmed in front of a live studio audience of baby Yodas whose names I will not be learning. If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe to the channel and please drop a like on this video. It really does help us. Also, don't forget you can turn on notifications so you don't miss a single review, react, why is that trending, or we got your mail.